Fox News alert. President Trump's announcement to meet with North Korea's Kim Jong Un already showing signs of peace through strength.
And here to discuss how the president should handle these historic talks is former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff's General Martin Dempsey and best-selling author Ori Braffman. They co-authored the book Radical Inclusion: What the Post-9/11 World Should Have Taught Us About Leadership. So, General, good morning. And let's really quick get to North Korea, get your thoughts on that.
I think it's a very positive outcome to, the pressure that's been placed economically and diplomatically. I mean, look, any diplomatic outreach is certainly a better alternative than a conflict. I think that when the president goes into this engagement, he's got to recognize, and he will, that there are other stakeholders, notably our allies in the region. So this shouldn't be just about the United States and North Korea. Sure. And then last but not least, we're going to have some stamina. This is the same country that negotiated the shape of the table in the 1950s for months before they sat down. So this is going to take some stamina.
Well, what does it tell you about Donald Trump as a leader? Because he's able to do something that nobody else has done before.
Yeah, look, it's a surprising outcome. I mean, I think we'd all have to acknowledge that. I don't think anybody thought it would take the path it's taking, but as I said, I think it's a positive outcome.
I think one of the things that the president did very, very well in the election is that he recognized a fundamental shift in our society. Rather than having a debate of ideas, which is you're either right or wrong, he recognized that we have a battle of narratives. And narratives are either interesting or boring. And I think that we're now seeing other parts of our country as well recognizing the importance of narratives. We're seeing, for example, the kids in Florida recognizing to share their message and look at the power that these wonderful young kids are having.
Maybe it's because he's a producer. I mean, ultimately of his own reality show. Maybe he understands stories.
He understands stories probably better than most people.
And that's why yesterday in the Oval Office he had the steel workers when he was talking about the tariffs.
Because they're now part of the narrative, and that is really what we're talking about in the book, Radical Inclusion. How do you get people involved in the narrative? How do you get them to have a
So, General, you talk about it's radical inclusion, what the post-9/11 world should have taught us about leadership. So what's the 9/11 hook to this?
The 9/11 hook is just a moment in time when everybody kind of coalesces around. But think about what's happened since then. The added complexity in international relations, with the reemergence of Russia, the rise of China, the Kim Jong Un in North Korea, the Iranian issue. And then you've got technology, which kind of levels the playing field, right? I mean, we used to have huge advantages in technology, not so much anymore. The narrative that Ori's talking about brings with it intense scrutiny on leaders. And so the reason we wrote the book is it felt like to both of us that leadership is just harder since 9/11.
Yeah.
One of the things I remember about the time in America, as well we all do, was we all seemed to be on the same page. Yeah. The nation was not as polarized right then. It seemed as if we were all working for the greater good. But then over time, people grew apart again.
Stop listening to each other. I mean, that's part of not to keep going back to the book, but we're actually quite fond of it.
Talk about it.
Yeah, right.
We want to talk about
we talk about listen, amplify, and include. And if you do that, then you will bring people along so we don't have these whipsaws of change, which is what you're describing.
Really quick, can this be applied to a family and not just a company or an organization?
This should be, in our judgment, should be applied to a family because we all lead something. Yeah, even if it's our own family. And I think it absolutely applies.
Or what's it like riding with the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs?
Really exciting.
I teach at UC Berkeley. The last person I ever thought I'd be interacting with, let alone being...
How'd that work out?
Well, he's a peace studies Berkeley
professor.
Vegan.
Yeah.
And my friends ask me...
And I'm not.
They're like, you're working with whom? And exactly.
It's National Meatball Day, by the way.
You can say and I heard the next meatballs are going to be vegan. So
we do have a vegetable meatball.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't that be exciting?
But so that makes, I would think, for some pretty interesting content.
Absolutely. How could I not? And as Americans, how can we not reach across and create a sense of belonging with each other and actually find out what we really are like as opposed to what we think the stereotypes of ourselves are?
All right.
Fascinating.
Love it.
Ori and General, thank you very much. Check out the book. It's available everywhere. Radical Inclusion.
Radical.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.